Hi, I'm Dr. Rizalia Klausmeyer, and I'm the Director of Undergraduate Research at Baylor. Thank you so much for being here with Burst and with me. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you live, but I hope that you actually enjoyed this little recording on how to get started in research and how COVID has changed what we were doing, and will keep changing what we're doing. There are many reasons to actually join a research lab. And when I say a research lab, I'm talking about the science departments and actually working in one of the science labs. First of all, if you're going to go to grad school, you need to actually get research experience. If you don't have research experience, it may be a little more difficult for you to actually join a graduate school, because a graduate school is all research. That's what you're going to actually do most of the time. If you're going to medical school, research is not needed to actually be accepted into medical school, but it may actually improve your application. If somebody is at the exact same level as you are, but you have research experience, that may actually bump up your application. It's still not a good enough reason to go do research in a lab, but it may actually improve your application. Gaining academic credentials that will help you expand your resume. This is important. It's, for example, you wanted to get a job with a bachelor's degree. So you want to graduate from Baylor and you want to go work in a pharmaceutical company. If you have research experience, that may actually get you the job. Learning all kinds of skills that you don't think right away that are connected to research, but we do a lot of communicating, whether it's oral or written communication. We do a lot of critical thinking, problem solving. That's important, isn't it? Teamwork. And the most important skill that you should actually learn as fast as you can, if you don't already have it, is time management. It's very important that you learn how to manage your time efficiently. Another thing that research can help you with is exploring research techniques. So let's say, for example, I want to actually learn CRISPR. So if I want to learn CRISPR, I have to join a lab that is doing CRISPR, and that would be a way in which I get to know more about CRISPR and all the things that are happening about it. And I also get to do and learn how to do the technique. Do you really need research? This is a very important question, because again, some people don't really need to go into a research lab. The spaces are limited, so we want only the people that are really going to benefit from it to join a lab. Are you ticking a box in your medical school application? Because again, research in a lab is not needed. You may actually be able to do research in the arts of humanity and somehow go ahead and mix it with the medicine, bring it back to the medicine, and that would be a fantastic project for you, and it will still count as research. Are you going to graduate school? Again, if you're going to graduate school, you are going to definitely need the research experience. Are you in the honors college? Because the honors college, they need to finish by writing a thesis, an honors thesis. And a lot of the students actually join a research lab because they're science majors and they want to have that thesis opportunity and write it about what they're doing in lab. You don't necessarily need to join a lab. Again, you can do a lot of research in arts and humanities, particularly if we're going to bring it back to medicine. You can actually do a lot of research in the social sciences and in anthropology. So those are two departments that would be excellent for you to do research. Do you enjoy being in a lab? Because if you're miserable in a lab, then doing research is not going to do anything, nothing good for your mental health for sure, but you're not going to actually put all the effort that it needs. All right, so how do you join a lab? Well, the answer to that is you join a lab very, very carefully. You have to think about what you like, what you want to do, And then you start looking at different research labs. The worst way in which you can get a research position is to go knocking on doors one by one until one of the professors agrees to take you into the lab. Again, if you don't like what you're doing in the lab, you're not going to put the effort, you're going to actually just be miserable. Again, you don't want to be miserable. You want to be enjoying what you're doing. You want to learn, you want to read about it. So we need to actually land in a lab that suits us very well. So do your homework before you commit to joining a research lab. I would go to the website of your major. So what is your major? Go to that website and look at all the different professors. And the professors, they have different levels of professors. So associate professors, those are the new professors. They usually need a lot of help getting their lab started. Then you have the associate, that's the next level, is the associate professor. Those professors have a lot of experience and they still need undergraduate students in their lab, but they may have more experienced people, of course, in their lab. And then you have full professors. So those have been at Baylor for a long time. If they're very active in the lab, they're productive. Some professors have been in here a long, long time and their research is not very, very active. So you have to read what they've been doing lately. What is usually expected from a student? This is something that's very important because a lot of things are going to be expected from an undergraduate student. And the first one is the time. You're going to have to be in time, and the one who basically decides how much time you need to be in lab is the research professor. So some professors may need you to be in lab as little as 5 hours a week. Some professors may actually give you enough work that you have to be in lab 30 hours a week. It all depends on what you're doing, and maybe one week you have to be there 30 hours, maybe the next one only 15. But there's a big difference in how much time undergraduate students need to actually put in their research lab. Now, once a week, the professor actually gathers their whole research group and everybody gets to talk about what they have been doing that particular week. Sometimes it's just one person or two or three. If the group is really big, that it's presenting what they have been doing. But that is called a group meeting. And the group meeting is usually either very early in the morning or late in the afternoon. And Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, are considered good times to work, particularly to have a group meeting. I know that when I was in graduate school and a little bit when I was an undergrad, Saturdays were perfect because nobody was around. And sorry, the dog is sleeping and it's barking in its sleep. Nobody was around and all the instruments were free. Some students work in the evenings and that is up to you and the professor, but you usually don't work alone in a lab. There needs to be somebody there to help you if something goes wrong. So preferably at least a graduate student to help you. We've had several accidents, not at Baylor, but in chemistry in general. We've had accidents in which the undergraduate student has died because nobody was there to help them. Now, how has COVID-19 affected our research? It wiped our research programs. Basically, this summer, almost all the internships were canceled. Very few internships were able to actually go. I only know of one that was able to do it face-to-face. All the other internships, either they were flat out canceled or we actually changed them to an online format, which is not very exciting, but at least we were able to allow the students to put something in their resume. So what we're expecting is something like what happened in the summer. So only students that had already started doing research before March could work in the lab. So you couldn't actually join a lab, and that is somehow what I'm expecting. So as a freshman, you will not be allowed to join lab in the fall because again, we're getting used to how COVID is affecting everything. Students are to use their face masks at all time. That is on top of the lab coat. And we have to actually keep 6 feet apart at all times. Social distancing in lab. So what's going to happen is that the professor is going to have to stagger the students' times to come into the lab. So several students come in the morning and several students come in the afternoon. And it's all going to depend on how big the group is. Maybe the group is not very big. Maybe it's only 4 people. And with 4 people, you're able to maintain a 6 feet different separation. It all depends on how big the lab is too. What you should do, well, you may have to wait till sophomore year to start research, and that is not a bad thing. That is a great opportunity for you, because what you're gonna do is that you're gonna use your freshman year to actually find out more about the professors, particularly the professors that you would be interested in working. And you're going to talk to that professor. You're going to talk to the graduate students and any undergrad in that lab. Because remember, the graduate and the undergraduates, they have a lot of information that is very useful about the professor and about the research. So it's important that you actually go into a lab and find out as much as you can before committing to that lab, particularly how many hours will you have to be in the lab. Because if you're taking 18 credits per semester, I'm sorry, you don't have enough time to do research. So you have to plan out how much time you're gonna spend in lab. Find out what you really, really want. Again, if you're a biology major or a chemistry major, go to the website, or a psychology, neuroscience, any major, go to the website, read about what the professors are doing. Pick 2, maybe 3 professors that you're interested in and read their most recent publications. Set up an appointment with them, get to know them, and then you can make an informed decision. Burst has really good workshops on how to read scientific papers, and they also have journal clubs. So if I were you, I would go to that workshop on how to read scientific papers, and then start reading the papers of the different professors that you would like to interview. Keep in touch also with the workshops that I put for the Office of Undergraduate Research, because I have a lot of workshops on summer internships and the pre-health internships. The pre-health office has a lot of summer internships, and I actually give information sessions about them and about other things research related. Now, there are some alternatives to actually working in a lab. You don't have to be in a lab. Summer internships are 8 to 10 weeks in the summer, so they're easier, quicker, less time consuming than actually doing research during the academic year. Some of them may even pay you to actually do them. If you're interested in doing research, but you want to actually do more of arts and humanities, we have a fantastic arts and humanities section. So you may go to the social science or political science, social work. They're all doing a lot of research, and they need help. They need undergraduate students to actually help the professors. If you wanted to actually do, again, something like a medical problem that you wanted to actually find more information about, I almost said cure it. No, we're gonna find more information about, then maybe you can actually bring it back to the social science of it, or maybe to the anthropology of it. I had a student a couple of years back, which his minor was in Russian, and he wanted to go to medical school. So what he did is that his thesis was in the AIDS and HIV problem in Russia. And he did it with a professor in the Russian department. And that was genius of him. And his thesis was actually very, very good. And he was able to read papers in Russian about the epidemic, HIV and AIDS epidemic in Russia. That was actually pretty good. Literature reviews are a great option, and you can do them in any department and on many, many topics. You can even perhaps get them published in Burst magazine, Scientia. If you're interested in medicine, you can review a disease or a special technique as well. You just have to find a professor that is willing to actually help you write the thesis. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Again, please accept my apologies for not being with you. And thank you, Burst, for organizing this talk and inviting me. Bye. And now I'm gonna try to close this as best as I can. Bye.
Okay, so that was Dr. K. If you guys ever have questions about research and you want to talk to an advisor or a faculty member, I would highly encourage you to reach out to her. She's a great resource. So now we're going to switch more into talking about Burst and what we offer and why you should join. So because Burst's main focus is on research, let's first talk about what is research. So research includes asking a structured question and developing tools to answer it. And so this can look many different ways, and that's why we have so many different types of research, specifically at Baylor. So the kind that Dr. K was mainly talking about was bench research, and it's what you usually think about when you think of research, like test tubes and instruments and machines. But you also have clinical research, which includes maybe human trials or more patient interaction. You'll also see technical and applied research, which you'll see more of in engineering and technology research. But then we also have social sciences research, like Dr. K talked about in the public health department, anthropology, ecological, sociology, psychology, all of those. All of those areas have a department at Baylor. And so that kind of research is available to you. So you don't necessarily have to do bench research. There's so many different types of research labs and opportunities out there. So why should you become involved in research? Well, there's so many benefits. Not only is there a professional improvement that will help you maybe stand out or be an asset as you apply to professional school, but it'll also help you personally and in your classes. So you'll learn to read academic articles and learn how to tackle technical jargon. That's going to help you a lot in your scientific classes and also in medical school and graduate school. You'll also find a community of undergraduate scientists who have similar interests and have the same goals as you. It's also shown to help with cognitive benefits. There's been studies about how doing research helps you, so that's really cool. So then why Burst? So Burst is the student organization that wants to support you in your academic and research goals. We want to help you foster a curiosity about research and equip you with the opportunities and resources that will help you reach those goals. And so we have many different events and workshops that we offer to support you in those goals. And so our officers now are going to talk about those different ways that we can support you.
Okay, great. So as Vice President of Events, I'll be focusing on these two aspects of Burst, which are the workshops and the opportunities for exploring research throughout lectures and Q&A panels. So for workshops, the first one you'll see, we offer basic lab techniques. A lot of the activities and the things we do here, we're going to be offering officer mentorship during these workshops in order to help teach you the basics of succeeding in your upcoming biology and chemistry labs, and even for your future pursuit for research labs. So for example, we're going to teach you how to use pipettes. If you've done high school research, you know that pipettes are very delicate and very expensive. So if you break one, that's like $1,000, $2,000. So we have to learn to be very careful. We'll also teach you about centrifuges, gel electrophoresis machines, which will be very useful for genetics and for the cure programs if you're interested in that. And overall, it's going to be very helpful for background knowledge when reaching out with professors if you want to join their labs. Second one is Healthcare Policy Research Series. So this series is not just going to be one workshop, it's going to continue throughout this entire semester. We're probably going to host a few every month or once a month, and we'll keep you updated in our social medias. And so if you forget and you miss one, don't worry, we'll just catch you up on the next meeting and it'll be good to go. This workshop series introduces the integrations of public health and research and allows us as a community to learn more and be more informed about current issues and how to make an impact. And for third one, how to present a research poster. I'm sure that many of you are very excited to start your own research projects, especially the honors kids with your thesis. And now that you're in college, it's a blank slate, you can restart, do everything again. But then we have to realize that writing a paper and doing the process of making an experiment isn't always that easy or a happy-go-lucky process. So before you embark on this journey, we're all going to help you with preparing to write for abstracts, introductions, teach you a few ways to do your methods and data analysis, and even discussions and so forth. And a lot of us officers, actually all of us, have a lot of experience in writing and presenting research. So this will be a really great way and opportunity to ask us questions or learn ample tips and tricks from us for drafting, proofreading, and editing our papers. And for resume and CV development, if you guys don't know yet, the Baylor department has a professional career and professional department, I think. It's the Baylor CPD. We're going to be collaborating with them this semester and the future semesters to host workshops for you all. And resumes and CVs are really helpful for applying for medical schools, graduate schools, and even for summer internships. So when you're getting ready to apply for your summer programs, it's really crucial to have a really well-polished resume and curriculum vitae for your employers or the people who are looking at your applications. So these workshops will be very good for you to ask questions, how to start your resume or to improve your resume. Lastly, for MCAT and GRE, I know all of you have taken the SATs and the ACTs and AP testing, and if you've used a lot of the test prep books like Princeton Review or Kaplan, Kaplan is the company that is working with Baylor, and we have a representative here who's going to be a rising senior. She's really nice, and she's really, really dedicated in helping students. So she'll be collaborating with us, and we're going to be making a lot of workshops for you guys to learn how to get ready for the MCAT GRE. But most of you are freshmen, so I'm pretty sure you don't have to worry about that right now. But if you do want to get a head start, that'll be a good idea. So for the next one, research lectures and panels. These photos were actually taken, I believe, 2019 or 2018. We have a lot of great research panels that introduce a lot of undergraduate students who talk about their research in like psychology, sociology, biochemistry, even chemistry. And we usually host these research panels with other organizations. I remember last semester, Shibni collaborated with the medical organization, and it was really big and it was really successful. We also bring in a lot of speakers from both research and medical backgrounds. Last year, Annie will talk more about this later, but for a research internship day, we brought in Dr. John Mansour. He was from the UT Southwestern Hospital for surgical oncology, and he talked a lot about healthcare policies and the research aspects, and it was really good talk. So just to quickly go over fall 2020 plans, not all of us, I believe, are going to go back to campus. I myself, unfortunately, am going to be staying in California. So I believe that most of our plans will be As of now, we might be in person, but it's most likely going to turn into online platforms. So Zoom actually worked out really well. If you can see in the bottom picture, that was our Spring Leadership Summit conference. And it worked out really nicely, especially with the breakout sessions. So I don't think there will be any problems. And if we do switch to online, everything will still be the same. We'll still have the same workshops, same journal clubs, everything. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
So, like Dr. K was saying, if y'all guys are interested in joining our research labs, well, Lab Tours offers a unique opportunity because you will get a chance to see what the actual lab looks like. You'll get a chance to ask questions with either someone who's working in the lab as an undergraduate or a graduate student, or even the professor themselves. Burst offers journal clubs, and this is really a unique opportunity. This is a very good thing because, just as Dr. K was saying, there are a lot, before you can join a research lab, you need to make sure that you read up on the different professors to see if you actually like what they're doing in their research lab. Also, many of the science classes, upper level science classes, they rely on scientific papers, and these scientific papers, they can be confusing reading a scientific paper at first, but these journal clubs are really, these journal clubs will help you since you'll interact with peers and you will understand how to read an article, and this will just improve your reading skills.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Scientia. And Scientia is the Baylor Undergraduate Research Journal of Science and Technology. So basically, we publish review articles, original research, abstracts that's all authored by Baylor students, either on campus in a lab or off campus. And we have a team of Scientia editors who are also students and Burst members who work to select submissions, edit them, make them ready for publication. Basically, to just like give Baylor students the option of having this like professional platform on which they can publish their research. And it's great for professional school, medical school, graduate school applications. And if you're a Burst member, you can also apply in the beginning of the year to join the Scientia team as an editor, which is really cool because you can get to work with student editors and really get a feel for like the research process and the editorial process. And if you're like even freshmen, if you've done research and authored a publication, you can submit to Scientia and have your research published. And the deadline is December 31st. And if you're interested in learning more, you can email baylor.scientia@gmail.com.
And on top of being a medical or research organization, we offer a plethora of service opportunities. So Burst leads either weekly service events or large service events. Weekly service events can range from clinical opportunities such as working within clinics or hospitals to volunteering and community service events such as the Mayborn Museum right next to Baylor or Habitat for Humanity, and a lot of other different events when it comes to either tutoring or mentoring, either mentoring high school or elementary students as well. So those are weekly service events, and Burst will host them, offer carpooling sessions to be able to get to the designation as well. But we also offer large service events, which include one-time events each semester where the majority of Burst will contribute to helping out, such as stepping out, where we go out into the community. And you can see a lot of the pictures here. We, for example, painted an entire church and helped basically make it beautiful again. We also have World Hunger Relief Farms where you can help out with the food distribution across Waco. And then we also have canned food drives, clothing drives, recycling drives, and then we also help out at a lot of marathons that Burst contributes along with Baylor as well.
along with the many different service opportunities that we have at Burst, we also have many different resources. For example, the research and alumni database that we have on our website. So if you'd like to access either of those, you can just go to our Baylor Burst page, and then it should be on the home page. You can see in the little blue bubble. That's where you click to access all of that really great information. So basically what the research database has is it has all the different labs that Baylor offers. It's categorized in a really accessible way where you can go to a specific subject that you're interested in, and then you just click on the subject, and then you have all the professors there, their contact information, what the database or what the research is about, and additionally, if there are any classes or anything that you need to do before you are able to join that lab. So it's a really good resource, and I think it's definitely one of the first steps you should take into figuring out what kind of research you want to do. Additionally, we're in the process of creating an alumni database, which basically will have many different Baylor Burst alumni members, and it'll summarize what they're doing outside of Baylor and what labs they were in, what organizations they were in while they were in Baylor. And it'll definitely just be an opportunity for Burst members to build a community, not only within Baylor, but people that are in the professional world.
All right, so I am the special events chair for Burst, and basically what I plan is like those big scale events that we offer annually. So this year we have Research and Internship Day, and then we do have another event that we had planned in the spring, but we'll see if that happens. But basically what Research and Internship Day is, it's just like this one huge event where all of the Burst members, and this year we're also opening up to other people, like students from other areas of study, like anthropology, public health, etc. And basically, we have 3 different sessions during that day, and it's where the first session is the poster presentations, and that's where you have your undergrads present their research, and you kind of interact with current students like yourself, just to understand like what the process is like, you know, making this poster, what kind of research they're doing, and who their professors and PIs are, etc. And then we have breakout sessions, which we usually invite like internships, programs, people from the Career Center, just to give y'all some information, show y'all some opportunities that you have in the summer, throughout the school year, etc. And then we end the day off with a keynote speech. And so like Joy said earlier, we had Dr. Mansour last year, who gave a great speech, but we don't just invite medical doctors, like we invite anyone who do any types of research. So we've had research scientists in the past, and last year we happened to have an MD. But yeah, we're open to anyone and everyone, and it's a great event. And this is also like a great way to get involved in research because you speak to a lot of current students also involved in research, and you also speak to those internships and graduate programs.
Okay, so our social events are really fun, right? So the first one we have is having your very own Burst family. So basically, we're going to do this by sending out forms to members. They're going to fill out their majors, their ambitions, their interests, and according to that, we're going to pair them up with certain officers to see which officer could really help them out the best throughout their year. You know, answer questions about Baylor and really guide them to the success. Then research coffee hour. This is basically where we bring in professors or grad students who have been in research or are doing research, and they basically talk about their experience, their research, and members get to ask different questions and basically learn more about research opportunities. Then the third thing we have is socials throughout the semester. So we're just gonna have various socials where members can connect with each other, network, really talk about what they're participating in, learn about more opportunities. And we're gonna have field days. This we're basically gonna do during the evenings. It's gonna be outside, practicing social distancing, of course. And then it's just gonna be different activities that we can compete in, have fun in, and game nights and post-meeting socials. So we're just gonna have game nights where members join together, play games, basically more of a chill and friendly environment. And then post-meeting socials will be where after the meetings, all the members who've attended, they can just join, play different games, participate in like different activities, and basically get to know each other. This really helps in making Burst, a big, strong community, and basically increasing your network and making new friends.
Okay, so this is a sneak peek of our projected T-shirt design for next year. And we're also going to have like a little giveaway to make it more fun for you guys. So let's see. Should I share my screen now to do a little? Okay. Share screen. Okay. Oops. Can y'all see that? People see that? Okay. I might ignore my desktop. It's kind of crazy, but let me. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 people, I think, and y'all are gonna win like our older t-shirts. Okay. See who won. Okay, this person won. If you are here, can you say something in the chat box? Because I think a few people may have left. And then y'all tell me if they said something, because I can't see it with my screen shared.
Italy, if you're here, please speak now or forever hold your peace.
No?
No.
Okay, we'll pick someone else. That's okay. Okay, let's see who we have now. Zoe. Okay, are you here? I think we might have 2 Zoes, maybe, but.
She's here.
Zoe. She is here? Okay, yay. So you won a t-shirt, and I will email you, and we'll figure out how you get that t-shirt sometime next semester. So I'm going to pick one more person. Okay. Okay, Olivia. Is Olivia here?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I will also email you, Olivia. Okay, thanks, guys. There we go. Okay, yeah, and t-shirts will be on sale sometime next semester at one of our general meetings is where you can get them. So yeah, and we also have little stickers and other little merchandise for next year.
Isha, can you let me share my screen?
Yeah, one sec. Why am I so bad at Zoom? Hold up. Do I make you the host or the co-host?
Yeah, co-host.
Okay.
All right, so within Burst, as you can tell, we have lots of leadership opportunities. Yeah, the people you heard from today are the officers, and that's a totally attainable position once you join Burst. But we also encourage you to join one of our committees first, because that acts like a really great stepping stone to becoming an officer. We have so many different committees, and they're all chaired by the different officers, and they all serve different roles. Like the publicity committee headed by Ruhi runs our social media and designs our merchandise like the t-shirt. You have our academic committee that runs our workshops and recruits our speakers, the Scientia committee that's made up of the editors, the resources committee that runs the mentor program and arranges our service events, special events committee that plans RID and our big events. Social events chair with Akshat that helps build our community and create socials. Fundraising committee that sets up fundraisers at restaurants. We've partnered with Chipotle, Cane's, so many different restaurants in Waco. And then we also have journal club leaders that actually choose the articles and lead a discussion over that Catherine was talking about. And so once you kind of get your feet wet in one of these committees, we highly encourage you guys to apply for an officer position. A lot of our officers are actually sophomores, so if you join as a freshman, it's very likely that you could be an officer as a sophomore. So definitely something to look into. Oh, and this picture right here is actually our Scientia editors meeting with Dr. Livingstone last fall for an interview, so that was pretty cool.
Okay, so the membership requirements for the fall semester include first filling out the new member form on the website and paying the $30 membership dues by October 1st. And this due covers a full year, including the Burst t-shirt featuring his awesome design. So the total points that you need to get by the end of the semester is 16 points, and that consists of 7 general events. So that could look like a combination between workshops, speaker events, and social events, as long as it adds to a minimum of 7 points. 4 journal club points, 4 service points, so that could be service points as a part of Burst or outside service events, and 1 special event. The only events that are new this week is Research Internship Day, and so we want all Burst members to maximize on this opportunity. So it's pretty much mandatory for all Burst members. Just for everyone's reference, it averages out to about attending 1.5 hours of Burst events per week in order to meet that minimum requirement. But don't worry if you're busy one week and you can't attend any of the events, because like on behalf of the entire executive board, we're trying to offer as many events as we can. And so if you're unable to attend, 1 hour a week, you can always shoot for 2 the next week. We'll be able to have enough events for you to do that.
All right, so that kind of ends our presentation material. We're going to break out into some breakout rooms now with the officers, so you guys can interact with us one-on-one, and we just want to get to know you because you're all going to become part of the Baylor pre-health community, and so we really want to connect with you. Feel free to ask the officers any questions about joining Burst or research or just Baylor in general. And once we put you in the breakout rooms, feel free to stay as long as you want or as long as you guys have questions, but then you're free to go. You don't have to come back to the main presentation. This kind of concludes it. So before you guys break off, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. I know these are uncertain times, and it's a weird way to be introduced to Baylor, but I'm so glad you're here. And I really look forward to meeting all of you guys, in person maybe. And hopefully you guys are interested in Burst. Don't feel like once you've heard about us, like you have to join. There are so many other pre-health organizations on campus that also have research components. So definitely, explore all of your options, compare the different organizations, and then choose a few that you really like. We'd love to have you join Burst, but we would also be excited if you joined any of the other pre-health organizations. They're all really great. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I think Isha's going to put you guys in groups. But before we break out, I would love to get a picture of everyone, maybe doing a sick'em. That's kind of our tradition. If you saw like on the Zoom picture on the slideshow, we usually like to take that. So I think I might have to take a couple pictures. So everyone just like hold your sick'em for a minute. Okay, are we ready? Okay, smile and then hold it. All right, wonderful, I got it. Okay, thank you guys so much. And now Isha's gonna put us into breakout rooms.